reference image. This is the reference image that we converted into a black and white. I'm going to edit it, click edit, and I'm going to click this revert to original. Boom. Ooh, look at all the color. Now you see some colors. And what's really pretty cool about this is like a lot of these colors, I mean, they're almost already there, right? Look at that. So all we got to do is maybe we can play it up a little bit. This is the artistic license. We can add in some oranges and some yellows, and in the towel here, I see blues. I see a little bit of reflective light of some of the burnt sienna, which we can leave in there, play it up a little bit. So at this point, we're really going to get in here and start playing with the colors. The key to playing with our colors is this medium right here. Neo McGill. Okay? Alright, let's get rolling. Now the colors that we're going to choose, we also want to be pretty careful and cognizant about, because we want to lean towards the more semi-transparent and the transparent colors. So this little color chart that you can get at Gamblin and everything, or you can probably print it out online too. It includes these little dots here. You can see this little, I'll bring it up closer. All right, see that little dot right there, that square? That square means that it is, when it's filled in like that, that it is opaque. These with the partial filled in, that means that it is semi-transparent. And then of course we got the open box like this, ultramarine violet, which means that it is transparent. So those are the transparent, semi-transparents are really pretty easy to use in this and glazing. But regardless, you are going to want to use your Neo McGill to ensure that those transparency properties play over. I'm just gonna add a dollop of that right there. Okay. I got my Gamsol and my brushes. All right, so, and I got a big thing of zinc white over here instead of my titanium white. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Now, where do I want to start? I'm gonna go for my darks first. So I'm gonna go for my darks first. I'm thinking in here and in here. And what I see is an ultramarine blue glaze, and I might tone that down just a little bit, and by adding in this burnt umber, which is a opaque color, because I'm mixing in an opaque and a transparent color, I am definitely going to need some Neo McGill to modify the properties and make it transparent. Okay, see that? So now it's like so transparent. Nice, right? And it looks super dark, but when you put it on, and I do dip my brush, like I break up the bristles, so to speak, in my Gamsol, wipe it down a little bit, grab some paper towel, dry it off a touch, and I will grab just a little bit more of the Neo McGill and bring it in here. See how thin that is? Okay, let's start. I want to go over everything, see how everything's kind of tinting blue a little bit. Use my towel. So notice how it's keeping what we've already painted underneath. It's keeping all of that structure that we've already defined. And just glazing on a little bit of color. because I'm liking that for an undercolor of what will be a white towel. I'm going to add a little bit of alizarin crimson, which is also a transparent color, to this. Just kind of darkening it up just a little bit. A little bit of sap green, which is also a transparent color. It's going to lean towards more of a black. I'm still going to lift off some of the color where the highlights are, just by adding some Gamsol to my brush and pulling back out those highlights. Quick, easy way to add in some color. I shouldn't say easy, but all the work that you put in before, it's playing off. It's paying off right now. Okay, over in here I see a little bit of green, so I'm going to grab some of my green. And a little bit of that burnt sienna. See how still it's keeping thin? It's still staying pretty thin. I'll grab some of the zinc white. See how it's already becoming transparent? Okay, I'm gonna let that rest just a little bit. And I do still want to keep everything pretty thin. So I'm gonna blend. So I've already got some nice highlights happening up in here. My mind is shifting to the background. I want to go ahead and address what's going on in the background. The reason for that is whatever color I choose in the background is going to play into what color I play with in the foreground. So what I'm thinking of is I want a complementary color in the background. So if blue is, which is the color that I see a lot in the white towel, if blue is my primary color, then I'm going to see some orange probably in the background. So let me think about that. Do I like that idea? We'll play with it and see what we think. Because that's kind of what's going on right now anyway. You know, it's got the burnt sienna in the background. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to grab my orange, which is an opaque color, and I'm going to add my gilt to it. Okay. So it's going to keep pretty much all those brush strokes that we've done in the background. It's still keeping all that. Now it's just adding a little bit of an orange to it. I don't like it, so I'm going to add a little bit of the white. So what I'm wanting is a little bit brighter. Maybe I should start over here so I get an idea of how bright I want to go. And this is where, like, I think I've taken an artistic license probably with this almost this whole painting. So you start with a reference photo and go from there. This is going to take another layer of paint. I can already tell because I can still see my lines. And I'm kind of going over this a little bit. But I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I'm going to add a little bit. This too is opaque. Gotta make sure you add your McGill. So if you pick a different color for your towel, I want you to refer to your color wheel and pick a color from the opposite side of the color wheel. And I know I kind of went through like the hee-haw in my mind about, do I want that color, do I not want that color? And that was because just because the color wheel has that on the opposite side doesn't necessarily mean that's the way you always need to go. You can decide to create a what's called an analogous painting where you pick, you know, a color from the same side of the color wheel. So I could have picked maybe like a green background and it would have been more soothing, but eggs are boring enough for me. So I want to liven it up with a little bit of color, punch it up. So that was kind of like my process there. So yeah, let's punch it up, bring it. And I might add a little bit of alizarin crimson into this just because I like red too. So with these colors, I can now pull those into my front painting, the foreground and the middle ground, and make it a little bit more interesting than just like blue towel with eggs, you know, or a white towel with eggs. I'm going to need to let that rest so that it can have a chance to dry just a little bit. One thing I'm going to go ahead and do is smooth it out just a touch too. And it's going to require a very, very light hand because it is so thin that it's easily going to show all the little bristles if you're not careful. Remember, I want to kind of create those diffused edges too. So I'm going to have this one kind of come in a little bit over my towel. Because I can always add a hard line later. Those are so easy to do. Hard lines are the easiest. Keep going. I'm going to go back into my blues. So I definitely saw some blues here.